Now let's talk about the natural hair dream in pertaining to a wash and go. So I think that wash and goes are beautiful, and I think there's nothing wrong with wash and goes. But this segment, I want to talk about the wash and go natural hair dream. So many naturals, with discovering their hair and getting familiar with their hair, we realize that many people do, in fact, have some type of curl formation, and that varies with curls. It can be a tighter curl, a looser curl. It can even vary where many people have different curl patterns and curl textures within their head. So, in my professional opinion, I personally choose not to subscribe to the letter number chart. So some people may say, "Oh, I have a 4A or a 3C or a 3Z or whatever it may be." I choose not to subscribe to those charts. And the reason why is because that is a system that somebody created, which is okay because we are, as creatives, we are open to create, and that is completely fine. However, I feel as that particular chart, it actually just ends up confusing people. So let me tell you, this is how I tell people, how do you find your curl pattern, your curl texture? How do you know what's going on there? This is a very simple answer. When you wash your hair, when your hair is soaking wet, so whether it's, maybe it would be best to do this towards the end of your wash. So after you wash, treat, condition, and you're rinsing out your conditioner, and you're on that last step, and as you're rinsing out, your hair is soaking wet. I want you to take a mirror, and I want you to look in that mirror and look at yourself, and I want you to look at your hair, and whatever your hair looks like soaking wet, that is your curl texture. That is your curl pattern. That is your definition. That is what belongs to you. And then to take it to another level, I want you to, even if you can, have two mirrors, one here and one in the back, so you can look at different parts of your head to see what the front looks like soaking wet, see what the back looks like soaking wet, see what that side angle looks like soaking wet. You may even want to part your hair in four sections and look at each section and see what it looks like soaking wet. That is your hair texture. Naturals, let me tell you, there is no need to put a name, there's no need to put a letter or a number on your hair texture, because whatever you see, that's your hair texture. That is what belongs to you. And I promise you that 9 times out of 10, you have multiple textures within your hair, within that one same head of hair. So it's just knowing what section has which texture for you. So now that we got out that out the way, let's talk a little bit more about this curly hair, natural hair dream. So, I don't mind natural styling and wearing their hair curly. I actually think it's very beautiful. But the dream part that many of us has been sold on is we like what our hair looks like on day one of that curly wash and go look. So many people, they fall into a rut where they figure out, how do I get my hair to always look like day one? And to be honest, the answer is it's not always going to look like day one. There are certain products you can use to help the longevity of your hair looking like day one. Maybe you'll use something with a firmer hold, or maybe not just necessarily a product, but the way of application. Maybe you will use a cream or a foam, but you apply it in a way where you're coating and touching each strand and making sure that the hair is soaking wet while you're working the product through. And then that helps with the longevity of that curly look. But then we have to be realistic. Curls usually do want to expand, and then they get a little bit floofy. I like to call it floofy. So the new natural hair dream that I want to push on to you guys is enjoying your hair for each step of the phase. Respect day 2, day 3, and day 4 just as much as you respect the day 1 wash and go look. And let me tell you something, you'll realize that for most people, you may enjoy your hair more so on day 3 than you do on day 1 and 2. Because when it expands a little bit, it has a little bit of personality and a little bit of volume, and more, it just gives more. So let's let go of this dream of keeping our curls into this hardcore curl formation. If you're somebody that works for you and your texture and you have it down packed, then that's completely fine. But if you're somebody who you've been struggling and trying so hard to get this curly look, you may have to come to terms with, guess what? My curls, I know what they are. When my hair's soaking wet, I know what those curls look like. And it may dry up and expand and swell and look a little bit different, but I know what's truly there. So it's almost a matter of finding peace within yourself. I hope this was a word for somebody.